Hello? Serdalo okulme te mulso se kyadr. That is a message to Ramesh T. Hello? Aap kaise hai? Ken Wheeler? A little bit of Hindi there for Ramesh T. Hindi, Sanskrit, Prakrit. No, my Hindi's no good. Just making this a short little video. He wanted me to make, and a few other people make. I had a bunch of people come over and make physically violent comments on some of the 3 videos about someone else that's sponsored, and I actually removed a couple of the Rockwell videos. Now, these videos were made in response to your requests, and I fulfilled those, and yeah, they were a good laugh, but I've always been of the firm belief that you can never elevate yourself, and this is an ancient saying, you can never elevate yourself by digging holes out underneath the feet of others. While some of the things that others have said are patently absurd and are just outright falsehoods, or it's mere pandering for the sake of money, that's their own issue and it's not mine. So while I did consent to the wishes of a significant handful of you to make those videos, I'm going to refrain from them, and you know, a number of you expressed concerns about that, and I'm the last person to get into mudslinging. I've seen more death than... I've seen a lot of death. I've seen a lot of suffering, a lot of it of my own, but I mean, I'm not starving, you know, living without a roof over my head in some, you know, who knows where, forbidden zone where you can't even grow food, so I'm not in that strait, obviously. I'm obviously fat, not necessarily healthy maybe, but don't drink or smoke or do drugs. So anyway, my point being is that that I removed those videos, and I actually made a word to the other person that I made those for videos at the request of others, and I did. But I actually should have given it greater thought in making them. I don't retract any of the accurate statements said in those videos, but there's no need for me to make those videos. I made these videos from the get-go, and I won't lose focus on that, to help you people, and to you know, give great lens recommendations, give tips and tricks on photography. You know, life's too short and full of BS and bills and crying babies and bills and taxes and bills and taxes. So I like to keep things simple, and I know I'm flapping my lips too much even over this video, but that's the reason those videos were removed, and I even removed some without anybody's request. A couple of the Rockwell videos, you know, they did have humorous content in them, but you know, I just have no need for that, and I'm cranking out tons of videos every day. Well, maybe not tons, but God, I mean, I spent a lot of time today answering comments and just tons and tons of email, and I said that's my premise. You know, these other people can see them for what they are. They got an agenda, they've got a motive. You know, let them have their motive. I actually got upset that some people emailed me and said, look, you know, I got convinced to do something, or convinced to buy something by believing somebody was honest, but they had a motive and they had an agenda. And but that's none of my concern, you know. I mean, it's my concern that I don't like to hear that from anybody. I'm not angry at anybody. I guess I'm calling myself the angry photographer, but I'm not. I may get frustrated at some things, but life's too short for that nonsense. And you know, as a Neoplatonic Platonist, as a hardcore Platonist actually, which doesn't even exist today, there are very few of them, and most of them are professors. So no one would ever think me with all these tattoos would be that some sort of person that translates ancient Greek philosophy. But that's the reason those videos were removed, and I didn't make these videos. I did want to inject, you know, a humorous moment here or there, or, you know, just some of the things that people either say or put forward are, you know, are worse than laughable. They're dangerous and counterproductive to someone's photography, because a lot of you people have actually emailed me and said, Look, and I put my camera down for years because, you know, Joe Schmuck over here convinced me to do something or buy something, and now all my money's wasted, and, you know, I've got kids, diapers, and bills to pay, and it's just kind of like spoiled me on photography. And that's really depressing to hear. You know, so that's a real bummer, and I don't like hearing that. And but like I said, I can't, you know, I can't make videos like that, even though I've made, you know, a total of maybe 9 such videos. But they're not, you know, really offensive videos, but they are bringing up the facts on some things. But even then, it's too much. But I made those videos at the request of some of you, but I need to refrain from those videos. You know, superficially it looks like mudslinging, and I could understand that from anybody's standpoint, but it's not. It's actual, you know, disgust and actual concern for somebody that's misleading somebody. And you know, I don't have a motive. I don't have an agenda. You know, I make these videos late at night, and you know, I answer all your questions by day, and you can see in the videos. I mean, I'm answering 99% of every question, so unless it's just a comment like, hey, I got the lens, I love it, it's like, okay, I don't necessarily need to respond to that one, but, you know, responding to all of them, and you guys give me a lot of positive feedback, and that's wonderful. So, but my whole point of this long-winded blah 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 video was that that's the reason I'm not making those videos, and that's the reason why I pulled a few of those videos, and they don't need to be made. You know, what I have to say either stands on its own or it's not. You know, nobody's forcing you to watch these videos or believe anything I say. You know, I've got nothing to sell anybody. I recently mentioned that I'd do photography workshops for free. There's no agenda there either. It's not like, well, it's free if you do this, or it's free if you do that. You know, there is no agenda there. I probably do 2 a month. That's really probably the max I could withstand. You know, and keep my sanity as far as having enough time to do everything else in life, like work on my book, on magnetism, and other things. I mean, I'm just stretched to the gills, and burning the candle at both ends, and then there's the website. So, but I can do a couple workshops starting in late August and early September and October, and then of course the weather's going to get bad for obvious reasons, and I'd have to stop then until the next year. So anyway, that's the premise of this video. I just wanted to give out that information because I had a few people ask, like, what did you do with that video? It's like, let everybody else do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. You know, you have to concentrate out on putting out logical, forthright, intelligent videos, and people can either see them for what they are or not. You know, they could hate them or love them. Either way, but my intent and purpose is to actually help people. And some people have emailed me. Actually, only a couple. It's like, oh, you're so full of crap, that's not your intention. Well, I'm not selling anything. I don't know what my intention is. The workshop I mentioned is for free. Certainly not for money's sake. I got a roof over my head, and I've got clothes on my back, so I've got my books, and I don't really want anything else in life. I want wisdom, and I'm not interested in, you know, digging holes out from underneath the other fools. Even if the statements I've made were accurate or logical, those people can do whatever they want. I don't give a damn. Excuse my language. I need to keep it that way, and I just need to make good videos that are helpful to you people, because that was my original intent, and I can't lose track of that fact. I succumbed to the wishes of a handful of you to make those videos, and I made them, and not necessarily that I gratefully regret them, because well, I do to a certain degree, but people have bills and whatever to pay, and if they want to do it honestly or dishonestly, that's their own business. You know, you reap what you sow. So if people want to reap, you know, sow their fields with salt, let them sow it with salt. I don't need to stand on the sidelines and point fingers at foolishness. There's enough of that in the world. I just need to do what is accurate and forthright and would be reflective of the sort of Platonist that I am. Nobody knows what a Platonist is, but anyway, this was a very long-winded video, but that was my entire point of making this video. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.